guys, welcome to another great episode of the Anime Breakdown Show. I'm your host Kingpin, and today we're going to jump right into it. Today is going to be another great episode of Black Dynamite, episode 3. Is it Taxes and Death? Death and Taxes. I don't know, they always say two different names, and it confuses me, and I'm like, without writing it down, I'll never remember. And another thing I realized, they do a previously on, even though there was no previously on, which can seem confusing if you're just getting into the series. So if you see previously on Black Dynamite, that episode never happened. But it's funny how they do that. This episode was really good. This was another episode with Richard Pryor, Black Dynamite, and Richard Pryor, and people were coming after him. About his taxes, and his accountant ends up dying because he's not paying attention. He's doing everything but pay attention to his accountant. Accountant ends up dying due to the fact that the IRS is after him and he owes 60 grand and he has to pay this money back. Now, this is not one of the best episodes thus far. This episode had a lot of cussing, and this was based off Richard Pryor, and he curses a lot in his comedic abilities, or whatever the case may be, if you know anything about Richard Pryor. And they had a lot of that, like, every time someone cusses, it beeps, and that kind of got annoying after a while. This show will be better when an uncut version comes out, DVD drops, to be able to enjoy it a lot better. Now, even if you might be a fan already, you have to say that got annoying. That kind of got repetitive, and it was you were unable to hear what was being said or what was going on. So when the uncut version comes out, I think this will make the show a lot better. I would have to rewatch it and see where it goes from there. So let's move on past that. I still have to give an honest review, and that was a negative on this episode. Besides that, getting back to the storyline, Richard Pryor, who had to do a comedic show on Sunset Boulevard, and the only way they were trying to get them there is getting him cocaine. Obviously, he had a cocaine habit when he was, back, when he was alive back in the day or whatever, and he was a trip. I think the jokes were really funny. I think they were spot on. He was at one point giving jokes to crackheads in an alley. Just anybody who listened. And part of the underlying story is that no one ever took him seriously. They always thought he was joking, but Black Dynamite did. One of the major scenes in it is when Black Dynamite gets to the house. They raise all his money, all his hoes, his bitches, all the little orphanage kids, and he decides to rip the money up because he doesn't take money or charity because he's Black Dynamite, and then he has to go out and get the money. It's always a little crazy stuff. So anything crazy that comes out of this is supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to be funny, and you're supposed to just accept it. So it was just a 100% wild ride the whole way through. He finally gets him to Sunset Boulevard after kicking ass and taking names with Richard Pryor. One of the times Richard Pryor gets away, takes $2 million, goes to every whorehouse, strip club, whatever you can think of, buys all the drugs he can get, whatever. And, he ends up doing that. They end up going to see Paul Mooney at one point, who's currently alive now, if you know anything about Paul Mooney. And, he makes a comment that he's always been a Richard Pryor shadow, which he doesn't like, obviously. Which Paul Mooney is real funny, but I didn't know anything about Paul Mooney until way after Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was always out there like that from the start. But like I said, this was a great episode through and through. Finally gets his taxes paid off, but he forgot to pay his state and his federal, which he still has to pay by a certain time. But one of the funny jokes, I like how he said when he saw the woman in the what do you call it? I'm trying to think. In the diner, and he said, "Your titties are so big, it should be able to feed all of Africa," or something like that. It was really funny. It was some funny shit. It had a lot of funny jokes. Too many funny jokes to actually remember. You have to watch it over. But like I said before, it was a great episode. Do your thing below. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought was the funniest parts of that episode. If you can put them down below, make a comment about it. Let me know. Do your thing. Peace.